Hi, this is Jackie's Reading Room, and I'm your host, Jackie P. Have you turned some pages today? I bet that after listening to some of the previous episodes of Jackie's Reading Room, some of you may be asking yourselves, what can we find on Jackie's bookshelves, apart from the books that she's already talked about? Not all the books I talked about are on my bookshelf. They can be in different bookshelves or in drawers or on tables. But basically, when I thought about that question, I thought that the answer deserved a multi segmented answer. So that's why I am starting the On My Bookshelf episodes, which will be spread out throughout the next weeks and months and years, hopefully. And they will feature two or three titles that can be found on my shelves. So here we go for On My Bookshelf 1. The first book I'd like to talk about today is a work of nonfiction entitled The Happiness Advantage. It came out in 2010 and it was written by Sean Aker. Now, Sean Aker, and I quote, is the world's leading expert on happiness, success, and potential. This was from indigo.ca. So this book, as you can imagine, I've had in my bookshelf for a while because it was written some time ago. Actually, if you went to a library or a bookstore, you would be able to possibly find the paperback version of it, which came out in 2018. I have the hardcover here with the beautiful orange cover. And there's also the ebook version, right, for those who enjoy reading on the screen. And I also discovered today that the audiobook is available, read by the author. Now, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy listening to audiobooks, especially when they've been read by the author himself or herself. So this is something that I'm going to try to find, and I love to put a CD in my car and listen to this as I go to work. Call me old fashioned, yes, but I still like to do that. So let me read a little excerpt from the introduction of The Happiness Advantage. It's on pages 3 and 4. And basically, he starts by talking about the fact that, and I quote, success first, happiness second. That's what we feel it should be, right? But here's a little blurb that is going to dispute that. More than a decade of groundbreaking research in the fields of positive psychology and neuroscience has proven in no uncertain terms that the relationship between success and happiness works the other way around. Thanks to this cutting edge science, we now know that happiness is the precursor to success, not merely the result, and that happiness and optimism actually fuel performance and achievement, giving us the competitive edge that I call the happiness advantage. So, as you can see, there's going to be talk about happiness and how it should basically come first. The book is divided into three parts. The first one is called Positive Psychology at Work. And this is a section that I started reading because it's been this book, as I told you before, it has been on my shelves for some time. But I'm not finished with it. It's the kind of book, because it's nonfiction and it's more of a guide that you can, I feel, read in a bit here, a bit there. Then part two is on the 7 principles of the that he basically has come up with, and the first one is the happiness advantage, and he goes all the way to 7. And part 3 is called the ripple effect, spreading the happiness advantage at work, at home, and beyond. So there's really something there for everyone. And because this is my own book, I have underlined things in there. Some people really love to annotate books. I only generally annotate nonfiction titles, and if it's something that I either really like the sound of, um, um, anyway, if I think of a place here in the book that uh, I underlined on page 61, it said, that happiness is the center around which success orbits. And I really believe that. If you go to work and you're feeling happy about it, I believe you're going to be more successful in your job. Now, Sean Aker, he wrote other books as well. You can find out about them online. One of the titles is called Before Happiness, and the other one, um, the is called Big Potential, and I love that title. You may also have seen or heard about Sean Aker because of his very famous TED Talk. And he also did an interview with Oprah. So that is something to look up. The second book that I will talk to you about today is a lot more recent. It came out just this month, which is September 2022. It is entitled The Theory of Crows. It is a novel by David A. Robertson. It has a really beautiful cover, and I don't know if you've ever been guilty of purchasing a book because of their beautiful cover. Well, I can raise my hand here, but in this case, not only do I love the cover, but the inside, the content, and even there's a bit of art inside. Some the crow comes back, beautiful artwork. That's really appealing to me. Now, The Theory of Crows is the first novel for adults that David wrote. He is a member of the Norway House Cree Nation. He lives in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And what I like about David is that he has written for all kinds of audiences. So he has a few excellent children's book, such as On the Trap Line that I read myself with beautiful illustrations. He has a middle grade saga entitled the Misewa Saga, and it's a bit, fantasy with I don't know if I want to say coming of age, perhaps a bit, finding out who you are, accepting who you are, maybe understanding your roots. I really enjoyed that saga. I've read the first two, The Barren Grounds and The Great Bear, and book three, The Stone Child, just came out a few months ago. I'm waiting for it at the library. And he also has written a memoir called Black Water, which was um, um, the book of the year 2020 by the Globe and Mail. It's also on my bookshelf, by the way. Let me just read you a little excerpt here from the inside cover of The Theory of Crows so that you know a bit more about the story. So it goes like this. When a troubled father and his estranged teenage daughter journey out into the land in search of the family trapline, they find their way back to themselves and to each other. I always enjoy stories personally of fathers, daughters, mothers, daughters. And then when there's a bit of drama, also it's always interesting. Um, this is definitely on my bookshelf. I read the first, I think, 3 pages, but it's possibly my next book. And just so you know, if you didn't think that David was super successful already, in 2021 he was he was the recipient of the Writers Union of Canada Freedom to Read Award, and he also has a podcast, just like me. I'm sure it must be different, I guess. And the podcast is called Kiwu, and he is the host and writer. If you wanted to know more about David, his website is darobertson.ca. So that's in a nutshell two of the many books that you can find on my bookshelves. There are many more to come that I will share with you, and hopefully the ones that I talked about today have inspired you to go to your local library, maybe a thrift store or a bookstore to um, buy one of these and start reading. So until next time, take care. Bye.